I'm Extra Giant. I'm going to be saying I can do the ultimate comic crossover and other forms of media for Christmas. You need every character that has something to do with Christmas, and so it going with the theme. So you need the Batman villain that dresses up like Santa Claus, Santa Claus. Helping a super villain with their husband, Calendar Man, and his son, and who's also a super villain. With them just being happy spending Christmas together and doing super villain things together. Actually, Zeus and his supervillain family and his gangster members of his family, they modeled after the Greek gods, with them spending Christmas together and them also working together because of both of them being underrated supervillains. The Harpy would be the mother of his daughter, and you would also have the Toyman in there.
Sounds like Bruno played him for a patsy. The bad man watched and laughed while the police locked the kindly toy maker in the dungeon forever. Clang!
Morning. Son, come see me at our favorite place.
I'm scared.
I'm alone. Now run.
What?
Run!
Winslow shot? It is an honor. I'm Garth.
Winslow shot.
Once I destroy this noob.
You can do Toyman being a supervillain family with his wife and two sons, and the other Toyman is being other members of his family, and them all sharing the mantle of Toyman.
Where? You're friendly.
You can also have Baby Doll in there, and because they've been trying to give Batman his own Toyman, and for years now, you can also make it that Funhouse is her Barbara, and him being the Toyman and Batman's Horse Guy, and him also being in it with the actual Toyman and the Tinkerer, fighting against the superheroes. Tinkerer is similar to the Toyman. He's not Marvel's Toyman, but him being similar to the Toyman and of DC because of him caring about his family members, and because of him working on parts, and him also caring about his creations more than other people because of them treating him terribly. So you would bring together the actual Toyman and him actually being useful to them, and because of him doing weapons for the other Spider-Man villains and other villains in Marvel who use weapons specifically. But you may also have his bodyguard robot there. He's a successful businessman, and Toyman is actually a successful supervillain all on his own. And because of the Tinkerer's love for his family is why him not loving his creations more than other people because of how they treat him. With his niece being a superhero Tinkerer with Miles, with her helping the superheroes with the tech stuff, her using weapons herself to fight supervillains, and with her also dating Miles. You'd also have all the food-themed villains like Egghead, with him showing why he's Ant-Man's arch nemesis. And the Condiment King with him setting his condiments on fire and using it like a flamethrower, and him having pepper smoke bombs, him using hot sauce as actual fire, with him having weapons like actual pickle bombs. You'd also have DC's Egghead interact with Marvel's Egghead. You'd also do Street Tooth in there, similar to Willy Wonka, and him also having some candy-themed weapons. And him having some candy-themed powers and him having some powers that are similar to candies. Simon the Pieman would also be there interacting with him. You would go with the Mad Apocalyptian scientist Egg Foo, who varies in interacting with them, and so Darkseid having his own head in it, and him thinking it's perfect, him interacting with other food-themed villains. Candyman is a good DC villain, they just need to do him with actual candy. You just need to make it the larger Candymen are doing different and gangster things connected in each city. What Batman's Candyman is a future Candyman that would eventually work together with them. While the fastest Candyman is the actual Candyman. With you also doing Savage Dragon's Candyman in there too with them. And the baker from the Tixor's guy making sure them taking the food part of it seriously. And the Beast Boy ending up eating Pizza Face. Gumball Man would also be there. The Toko would be an evil Willy Wonka doing terrible things to kids in Cinnamon Rose Gallery, like drugs.
You can't hurt a dream, my good fellow. And you can't wake up. Stop fighting it. Mr. Wayne, no! Why did you do it? You, of all people, have the gall to ask me that? You ruined my life! I was willing to give you whatever life you wanted, just to keep you out of mine! The stuff that dreams are made of.
Something to ensure that Jervis Tetch only dreams of a good, honest life from now on.
Oh, are you not going to drink your tea? It's Are you Alice?
Sorry, Jervis. It's me, Catwoman.
Oh, Alice, I need my Alice.
Also do Batman's Mad Hatchet and his Rose Gallery dating and ending up together with Spider-Man's White Rabbit and his Rose Gallery. It would be nice the Mad Hatchet finding love with a not Austin Wonderland themed villain, and you can even make her a part of the Mad Hat's Austin Wonderland gang in Gotham City. With the Mad Hat only staying a supervillain because of her wanting him to be a supervillain and because of him being in love with her. With you making it and being like to Alice from Batwoman's Rose Gallery. She caring about her, but in a crazy way, a supervillain way, but still in a loving way. Still being a part of the Austin gang too, but her being one of the leaders of it, and she does have a good connection to Batwoman because she's Batwoman's sister, and Batwoman is Batman's cousin. It is bad that you didn't already make her a part of the Austin game because that would explain where the supervillain thing came from, and it would also make more sense because of Batman already having an Austin Wonderland themed villain in his Rose Gallery. And there's already a way for you to make it work, there being more than one Austin Wonderland themed villain in Batman's Rose Gallery because of them all working together in the Austin Wonderland gang. So you working with them. This is how you're keeping them all in continuity and with all of them being a threat to Batman and Batwoman, the Bat family. Because of Mad Hatchet being the original one, him being crazy, it would make sense and him being able to bring them together because of him understanding them because he's crazy, and because of him knowing how to lead them, because of him being intelligent for him being a scientist to do his mind control technology. A threat to Batman and two next scenes from Austin Wonderland. Having the Queen of Fables in there, and also making sure her dating Dr. Trap. You're also having the fairy tale event from Batman's Rose going in there, so you're going with the fairy tale theme. You're just good at Christmas.
Tonight's extra special guest stars making their world debut, the Royal Flush Gang. Jack, 10, King, and Queen. That's more like it. But I'll bet you folks at home are wondering.
Running out of time, Bats.
I'll stop them.
Wasn't talking about the bombs, old man.
Okay, what next? You're done. Find another one.
Ooh.
Till the bomb blows. Hold that thought. That about wraps you up. I know. It's all I could think of on the spur of the moment. I'm stronger than anybody. I knew I was stronger than you. I've heard it before. You can't beat us both. Are you crazy as Joker? We've got less than a minute. If you beat me, you'll die in the explosion. So, I'll win.
I'm out of here.
I mean the red one. No blue. That's it. Black and yellow stripe. What? No, wait. Green.
Hey, Soups! That's the last of the bombs. We win!
That was quite a stunt you just pulled off.
I know. Can't wait.
The Justice League found straight. The League took them down. Most of them.
Waller. Should have recognized your hand in this.
No time for the usual pleasantries. Before you go after Ace, you need to know what you're getting into.
I've met her before. She has the power to give anyone she's in contact with hallucinations, as you can see.
It's worse than you think. Ace's powers have evolved. She doesn't create hallucinations anymore. She telekinetically warps reality.
Please. You trying to tell me all this is real?
Real, growing, and permanent if we don't put a stop to it all. Cadmus Cytex predict that Ace is days, maybe only hours from a massive aneurysm.
Problem solved.
Not that simple. When she goes, the psychic backlash could kill everyone in range of her powers. That's a distance measured in miles. Take her down before she takes everyone with her.
I'll do it, Shayera. I'm the only one of us Ace knows. She might let me get close enough to use it.
Do you understand what you're agreeing to? The only way to stop Ace for certain is to kill her.
Batman,
Ace.
did you like playing with my new Royal Flush gang?
Can't say that I did.
Yeah, they aren't any fun at all. I gave them their powers and they still hardly ever play with me.
Can't imagine why.
When I was little, Cadmus used to make me play all kinds of games, but they weren't any fun either. They'd strap me into their machines and poke wires into my brain. Ace, can you move this object with your mind? Yeah, I can move it.
He sat with her until her time came.
It's like a wake in here. Lighten up. The answer to all your problems has arrived. Since we're going to be working together, you can call me Lobo. The main man happens to be the best bounty hunter in the known universe. You could ask Superman if he weren't busy pushing up daisies.
Hey, don't talk about him like that. Superman was our friend.
Mine too. I saved his life once, you know.
That's not how he told the story.
Want a piece of me? Wuss.
I'm going to grind you.
Awful brave talk for a dead man.
I'm not dead yet.
You're right. My watch is about 10 seconds fast. Say it. Say it. I can't hear you. Pretty good, huh? When you got Lobo on your team, who needs Superman?
Who's that?
A bowl of fruit. Her name is Princess Shayera, and I was her true love. Prince Khufu, always finding each other, and always falling into a love that surpasses death.
That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard. So where's she now? Have you found her in this life yet?
It could take a lifetime to find her, but believe me, I'll search this world to its end until— oh geez, there she is!
You would also have the Royal Flush Gang in there, to go with the Arsenal Onion theme, and Lobo would be there as a bounty hunter going against them. And you'd also have Hotman, Hot Girl there, being the romance there. Invincible would be there dating the DC Superhero Girls 2019 reboot version of Supergirl. Spawn and Hellboy would be there to show them being good people, especially at Christmas. So them away being good people even though they're demons, and it also being good them just enjoying Christmas together. The Mask would be crazy, but it would also be doing heroic stuff. Him doing jokes like in the movie, but him being as violent in the comics. Fighting against everyone, but then the Tick would be able to convince everyone to work together in the end. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would be introducing everyone and fanboying over everyone. Witchblade and Vampiro would be working together and keeping everyone on track. With them taking it more seriously than the other guys, with them starting to have fun with them. And with them fighting against Lady Death specifically, and because of them working together, they're managing to defeat her and Evil Ernie. The Evil Ernie showing why they call him Evil Ernie, him interacting with other crazy fans, the Joker proving he's crazier than Evil Ernie, and with the heroes of the Hackensaw series managing to kill him in the end. Shadow, the Phantom, the Green Hornet, and the Black Bat would be different than the other superheroes because of them being pulp superheroes, where the other superheroes came from, and them being the inspiration for the original superheroes, with them being their own kind of superheroes. With them even being older than just a society, but with them still being good in an important way in the superhero world. Because their way of being superheroes is similar to Zorro and Robin Hood. With them being adventurers and more noir kind of superhero, like Batman from Batman the Animated Series, which is why that show is so good because of the noir.
Booyakasha.
He said booyakasha? That sounds like my catchphrase.
Nah, Sai. Yours is booyah.
Kasha.
Yeah, this is so gross. Well, this is where the cool pizza-eating mutants live.
How can you eat pizza when you're surrounded by all of this filth?
The filth.
What's the password, dude?
Just let us in.
Password!
Totally tubular.
Come on in! What up, Titan Bros?
With you also doing the Hypno Hustler and his Mercy Care backup singers. Music themed supervillain, and because of him having music themed weapons and him also being able to mind control people with music. You can also do the disco good if you're doing it similar to Welcome to My Nightmare, with you doing disco in one good way. With him working together with the Music Meister, the most iconic and best music theme villain, and because of the Music Meister already mind controlling people with his music. With them actually doing a band to mind control a bunch of people with their music, and also getting them to do terrible things, to do things to the superheroes. But then the superheroes managed to do their own music to fight against them and defeat the supervillain band. It would be good having all the music themed villains in there because of it going well to the Christmas theme.
Good guys or bad guys, it doesn't really matter.
This once.
And so for me, it's destiny to be the maestro of villainy. Yes, I'm the music meister. But something very strange occurred when I kept singing higher. The ruffians around me quickly fell into a trance, and it was then with wicked glee I made those puppets dance. I'm the music meister.
Music Meister could even be the reason why the Hypno Hustler becomes a good supervillain, and with him actually showing the Hypno Hustler how to be a good supervillain.
That hypnotically controls anyone who hears.
The thing with the difference of the songs actually being good in it. With them doing Christmas songs that are traditional but still sound good.
I'm not giving up that easily, Bat Boy.
So my sister says I put the Kara in karaoke. Where are we?
I don't know. Well, you know what they say. The show must go on. Ha! Singing. Put a little love in your heart.
with Music Meister only using his musical therapy to get to people and also to spread and his mind control with his music. You would do the Fiddler doing his music with the other supervillains, and then you would also do him doing it with his wife who would also be a supervillain, and the modern versions of the Fiddler, it would be his son and his daughter who would, and with all of them saying the title of the Fiddler and then being a supervillain family doing their music together and doing crimes together. And because the Pied Piper is good friends with the Flash, he would work together with other superheroes, help them to defeat the other supervillains by him using his music with theirs to defeat the other supervillains' music. Mr. Benzo would be there because of him just wanting to do good music, and with his Benzo actually being alive, and you'd also have Punk Rocket in there. And Punk Rocket would be there with him hating that kinds of music, but him just being glad there being some rock and roll music in there.
Up to now, his whole act has been unplugged.
Which means...
He's just getting started.
Honky! You call that the sound of chaos? Sounds more like elevator music to me.
I can't hear you!
These boys, stop! You cannot endure the sound!
Dude, give it up! Your sound is old and tired.
You are so not cool.
What? Hey!
You'd always have Johnny Karaoke in there as the singer of the band, and with him actually having a good fighting style. And the superheroes that would go against them would be Dazzler because of her already being a famous music star, while also being an X-Men superhero. With her being able to turn in sound into light, right, so her using her music and her powers to help the superheroes to defeat the music-themed villains. With you also making sure her just being glad her interacting with other superheroes by helping them work out with the X-Men. Five would have a dance fighting style, him getting other people to dance with him because of him loving dancing, and with him also having the same origin story and powers from the comic books but with the Arrowverse powers too. You would do the Black Knight interacting with the Cyanide and Etrigan the Demon Knight before them being combined with him. And the original Cowboy Vigilante would interact with the Two-Gun Kid and the Texas Twister and Jonah Hex, and the Texas Twister would be combined with Jonah Hex, and the Two-Gun Kid would be combined with the original Cowboy Vigilante. It'd be good these guys being combined and interacting with each other because these guys are the most iconic superheroes from that time in their universes. And you combine DC Santa with Marvel's Santa Claus, and Marvel's Krampus with DC's Krampus, and Santa being a most powerful mutant in Marvel, with you also doing it to show Christmas and the other superheroes throughout the years, and you're also doing the history of these guys already being crossed over with each other and interacting with each other. If their universes are one this whole time, during those times, and them interacting with the heroes of those times, and with them also crossing over the heroes from those points in time. It being at the same time as us seeing Santa throughout the years, so he would interact with them crossing over with each other too. Seeing these versions of these superheroes crossing over with each other into the modern day, with the modern versions of these superheroes. So I seeing the superheroes crossing over each other and Santa interacting with superheroes in different points of time and throughout the generations into the modern day and into the future. Going through tradition and generations of how them spending their Christmas at different times. And my Christmas still being important even into superheroes throughout those different generations at different points in time. Going with the tradition part of Christmas. And thus seeing them celebrate their Christmases into the modern day. It also shows us how important Christmas is even to superheroes, and it also shows us as why superheroes have actually a lot of things to do and a lot of things in common in the Christmas, especially Santa. How us seeing the superheroes spend their Christmas in it, we would see Spider-Man and Nightwing hang out together and going around both the DC and Marvel universes spending Christmas together. Because of their connections to other superheroes and being a part of so many superhero teams and them being the mascots of their superhero universes, and it going well with their personalities, it would be good them going to these Christmas parties, interacting with these guys, and spending time with them, and it making the most sense. We'd also see all these characters cross over with each other at the Christmas parties and how they spend their Christmas together. Both with their usual friends and family they always spend time with at Christmas, and the other people from the other multiverse and them crossing over with each other, interacting with them here at Christmas is at the party. We'd see their connections and them being like a family with the Justice Society and the Fantastic Four. They would see their superhero friends and the ones they work together with the Justice League and Avengers Christmas party, showing why they're so good there, and also seeing the interactions with people similar to them. We'd also see some of the Christmas traditions helping Santa deliver the presents that time with some of the other superheroes, whether they're street level or some big time superheroes whose friends and family members convince them into doing it to keep up the legend of Santa Claus and help the real Santa do these presents. And them also going to a family Christmas dinner gathering with the Teen Titans and the X-Men. And that's also seeing them celebrate other holidays there, and so the different parts of the holiday, and some of the teenagers there also fanboying over them because of them being such big iconic superheroes, with them acknowledging they all have it kind of hard in different ways, but them being glad they have each other to help them get through it. Also showing the connection between humans and mutants because of them being able to do this together. With them even going to other dimensions, spending Christmas with Thor and Wonder Woman at Asgard and Paradise Island. Them also spending Christmas morning together, opening their presents with the Spider and Bat family, and them also celebrating New Year's by partying all night with each other. And then showing Spider-Man that they do take him seriously as a superhero and that he is loved by the other superheroes, and Spider-Man also spending Christmas with his other friends and family members from his usual life, like Mary Jane and Harry Osborn. With you also showing him with even more heroes like Deadpool and the Hulk. You also showing what he means to the other people and why him being good from the other superheroes because of him solving all crimes, not just the big crimes. And him also spending Christmas and New Year's with Aunt May in the end. And it being after the superheroes get the happy endings in the end. So after Batman and having Damian Wayne and Helena Wayne and Nathaniel Aza all go with Catwoman. And after Nightwing has John and Nightstar with Starfire. After Superman has John Kent and Kara with Lois Lane. And after Spider-Man having all of his kids from the other alternate universes, with Mary Jane and Mayday Parker from the MC2 universe, has Annie from the New Year Vows universe, and Ben from the House of M universe. So, because it's good the superheroes getting the happy endings, especially at Christmas, and so it being the happiest happy endings, especially at Christmas, and so us also being able to see these superheroes get the happy endings in the end, and it being better, it being after these superheroes got their happy endings in the end, them spending Christmas together with their families, is for it being with their whole families. And Wonder Woman getting her happy ending with Steve Trevor, with her having kids, and it being the kids from the alternate universes where she did have a daughter with Steve Trevor, like Alita Trevor, the new 52 version of Alita Trevor, and Trinity. Aquaman getting his happy ending with Mira and then having his son Arthur Jr. with her, and having his Batman Beyond daughter with her, and the daughter he had in Batman Beyond's point in time, and him having his daughter from DC Rebirth with her. And Green Lantern getting his happy ending with Star Sapphire and them having a family together, and with him having kids with her. With them being the same kids from the alternate universe of when they had kids together, with them getting chosen to be a Green Lantern and Star Sapphire too. It also being in the future when Giant Storm had kids with his family, and it also being in the future where the Hulk had kids with Betty Awaz, who is Red Sea-Hulk, and combined with Kyra and Hulk's other alien girlfriend. The kids would be Savage Sea-Hulk, Scar, and combination of both of their kids saying into each other from the modern-day Maestro origin story. And Miles Morales had his family from the Spider-Gwen alternate universe. And Thor had all three of his daughters as from the Thor God Butcher storyline with Jane Foster. It would be a good ending for it, and a good part of the movie, and a good thing you're doing for the movie, and a good look into the future for the ending of it, with their kids taking up the mantle of their parents' superhero identities, and with them becoming superheroes in the modern day, and with them continuing to have Christmas with their kids, and stopping servants with their superhero families in general, until a reverse process point in time, then into Abracadabra's point in time, and then showing the future villains and the villains of that time, and freeing them from the dictatorship there, and freeing them from the tyrannical rule there. And you're doing it in Batman Beyond's point in time, then you're doing it in Booster Gold's point in time, then you're doing it in the Legion of Superheroes point in time. 1999, another future Spider-Man in there, with the good version of the future Savage She-Hulk is from, and the MC2 universe in there. And thus seeing stuff like Batman Beyond crossing over with Spider-Man 1999, Captain America crossing over with the Justice Society, the Cowboy, Caveman, and Pirate, and Knight and Shining Armored Heroes and Villains, the Marvel and DC heroes crossing over each other, and the Justice League Avengers, and the X-Men and the Teen Titans crossing over each other. Until the Legion of Superheroes point in time, and then still saving the multiverse, and then still being superheroes in the modern day, and then still spending Christmas with each other, and then still enjoying Christmas together. With you doing it at the end of the movie after the other stuff of the movie happened, and it being at the absolute end of the movie, and it being at the end of the movie in general. It also shows that Johnny Storm does get his happy ever after in the end, and that the Hulk finally managed to get his happy ending in the end, so it not just being suffering, and the Hulk did find happiness in the end. You're also doing something good with Trinity, and taking advantage of Aquaman being a happy family man. You're also taking advantage of Damian Wayne and John Kent, and you're also doing what the fans want with Spider-Man, which is him to get his happy ending in the end. It is good that Flash and Green Lantern managing to have an ending to the story, even if it continues afterwards, and them actually growing throughout the years. It also showing why Miles Morales is so good, and for you trying to undo the damage that they did to Jane Foster in the MCU. It would also be good you showing them in the future and showing them as fully established superheroes with Kamala Khan and her kids from that Captain America and Marvel Apocalypse storyline. You showing John Constantine and Santana does have magic, and them being through all their suffering, and with them and their kids. It's Dr. Destiny, the kids from the John Constantine GC Showcase Swords House of Mystery, and Astra from the Injustice universe. With you also doing Green Arrow, having kids with Black Canary, and it being the same kids from the other alternate universes, like Green Canary from the Injustice universe, their Arrowverse daughter, and their daughter from the DC Death Metal event. With you doing Black Widow managing to get what she wanted, a family in the comic books, with you also doing Hawkeye's family, from the MCU in the comic books. For this Christmas crossover to do the ultimate Christmas crossover version of them in this animated movie. And with him still having the same relationship with both the Marvel heroes and the DC heroes. With him being the actual Santa like in DC, but with there being some comic booky things there like Marvel. Also having the perfect balance and nice and sweetness from the Marvel Santa, with him also being cool and being awesome from the DC version of Santa. And his wife Mrs. Claus should also be the actual Mrs. Claus from the DC comic books, with them just meeting because of her originally being an elf. With her being nice and sweet like the actual Mrs. Claus, but with her also being a Blue Lantern because of them being in DC, and her being able to help because of the Christmas thing. But with her being able to be a warrior like the elf version of her. You should also have Zinglebell in there as their daughter, because Zinglebell doesn't belong to any of the companies, but with her specifically belonging to Paul Dini, who was one of DC's best comic book writers, and one of the reasons why shows like Batman the Animated Series is so good. Paul Dini already does her comics everywhere because of him owning her specifically, so it would be good her being in the best as crossover at Christmas, as for you being able to get the most out of it and it going well with the Christmas theme. It would only be good to have someone like Paul Dini in such a big and good crossover, and this would be a good way to convince him because of him loving doing Jingle Bell. It would be good you doing a Christmas character like her when you're trying to do the Infinitive Santa and a crossover between two big companies like this. Because of it being in comics in general, you can also get Claus in there, with it being a crossover between it, and with you also having Claus combined and some of that in there. With the other version of Santa, so you're doing the ultimate version of Santa in comic books. With you combining him with DC and Marvel Santa, and with their origin stories. He is already similar to DC Santa, and he does have a similar origin story to DC Santa. So it would be good to have Claus in there, and for you getting a good version of Santa in this crossover. You could also use this for him getting his own cartoon show like how Invincible did because of him being outside of DC and Marvel. With it being a holiday show in general, with each episode taking place at a different holiday. You would also use this for the ultimate origin story of Christmas, where you combine how Santa does things from these comic books and how the Christmas was started in these comic books, with you also combining how Krampus works in these comic books. You're also doing it for how he met his wife, and him having one of his sons. With at the end of that part of the story, Santa, Mrs. Claus, and his son managed to get immortality in the end. But they're also showing why Christmas is so important. And why we celebrate Christmas. Days of rest are our turn to act at peak efficiency. And it's when the nights are the longest is when we need to shine the brightest for each other. And it is also how to help the less fortunate at that time. And for people to put aside their differences for a day and instead focus on being good to each other. With it being good because in some ways Santa was one of the first superheroes. And him being one of the first superheroes, not the first superhero because of him, and not being an actual superhero because of him being a holiday mascot and someone important from my childhood. He is the ultimate embodiment of childhood innocence. So he's the hero in the same way the Sandman is. You would do him defeating Krampus at the end of this story. We'd also see Santa throughout the ages going up into the modern day, of what him doing over the years since spending Christmas and him spending Christmas, with him originally stopping these monsters at that time, like the Ice Wizard, the Ice Witch, the Fire Wizard, and the Fire Wizard, with us also seeing them and stop some big evil companies from trying to own the idea of Santa Claus and to market it and to make the very idea of Santa evil and trying to get money off of it. With him starting the big evil companies, Santa belonged to the world, and especially to the children. Santa's still being good, and they're being Santa for the children for a reason. We could also see a crying snowman who used to help Santa, and who would help him save Christmas, and because of it, Santa came back to the North Pole after saving a kid and his Baba, so now I'm crying tears of joy. Then you go into the superheroes spending their Christmas together in the modern day. This also gets us caught up with Santa in the modern day and where all these other ones at the time. Which should be told in the flashback at the beginning of the story, but then us going into the modern day and with him fighting Krampus with the other superheroes when they're around at that time. With them working together with both the DC and Marvel heroes, us seeing how Christmas works, us seeing elves from both universes. With them helping Santa fight against the other monsters and the other monsters of Christmas. It's because of Krampus unleashing them and them also having Santa fight against Krampus. And with him already knowing the other superheroes because of him visiting them at Christmas, and because the superheroes usually crossing over with him, and with him still having his connection to Batman, and with him also already being saved by Captain America, us also seeing Superman and his interactions with Santa because of him being glad because he's a big kid at Christmas, and him being glad to meet Santa, and because of him being a good person, and Santa know him just being a good guy for a man. Because he's a good person, especially at Christmas. Krampus would take the Fantastic Four kids, John Kent and Damon Wayne, but then he would find out that Krampus is being mind-controlled, and after him seeing the goodness in the kids, he realizing him being wrong and him being freed from the mind control, then goes right to bang him with the fires of hell. And since Christmas is a time of second chances and forgiving, Santa working with Krampus again, and with him fixing his relationship up with Krampus because of his daughter Jingle Bell. With the Fantastic Four kids, John Kent and Damon Wayne helping Santa deliver the presents, and with the heroes having a Christmas party and celebrating their Christmas afterwards. They would stop the monsters, but it turns out they're missing one, and one would get free later, and it only happening because of the other monsters getting free, and that would be the Silent Night. Someone Krampus and Santa Claus managed to work together to defeat, want to get revenge on Santa and the superheroes because of it being superheroes like them is partially why he was captured in the first place. It would look like him killing the superheroes, but really he just imprisoned them in his sword, and him getting a bunch of the superheroes. With him also getting their powers and becoming more powerful afterwards, so there not being a lot of them left. So not only did they need to get out of there, but it not leaving them a lot of options with how to find them at that time. And only the Fantastic Four kids, John Kent and Damon Wayne wouldn't be affected by it because they went with Santa to deliver the presents. They would go to the magic-themed superheroes and the leftover superheroes to find out what happened there and how to deal with it, but then Santa would find out about them and help them to defeat the Silent Night. So them getting the science superheroes, also them having both the magic and science superheroes, and them also getting the leftover superheroes to help them do it. With one of the reasons why the Silent Knight managed to defeat the other superheroes was because of him using the other monsters of Christmas, and him also using the other monsters that Santa got rid of. So they would get the other Christmas characters and the spirit rates of Christmas as to help them to fight against him. Then we'd see with the other superheroes stuck in his sword, that it being another dimension in his sword filled with a bunch of the enemies he defeated, and particularly monsters that are stuck in there. Some of the supervillains would be doing crimes around this time and trying to ruin Christmas for some people, but then the superheroes would stop the supervillains and save Christmas, with them also starting supervillains doing crimes all over the world, and them also stopping the supervillains doing crimes at Christmas time, with them also making sure them having a Merry Christmas in jail. Then the supervillains find out him also getting the monsters they already stopped in this sword too, to fight against them. And you would have the main superheroes from both companies here, and actually good superheroes from both companies here. So you're having the Axel, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman there. With them also finding out what the dimension is, and the Silent Knight's origin story from the other monsters there. The leftover superheroes going to a Christmas party for the magical supervillains, the science supervillains, and the other kinds of supervillains. It's them doing a Christmas party because Christmas is a time of magic and it is good, and them just being able to be good to each other at Christmas, and with them also celebrating for Christmas party's sake. Living a life out of being a supervillain, you know. With them finding Jason Blood there with people like John Constantine, because them doing peace between each other now, and because of them being able to agree it being a time of magic at Christmas. With them finding out from Jason Blood that the Silent Knight used to be a knight at the Dark Ages, and he was given magic by Merlin, but when an Etrigan the demon failed to save Camelot, it turned the Silent Knight into a Silent Knight, him becoming a threat as a Silent Knight because of him and wanting revenge on Jason Blood and Etrigan for failing to save Camelot, and because of him and because of it also affecting his mind, and Camelot being destroyed just pushed him over the edge. The superheroes and supervillains will work together to get them into that dimension and to stop the Silent Knight, because it being in Christmas time, so them seeing goodness in each other, and also because the supervillains are the ones who want to take over the world, not the Silent Knight. And because they don't want the Silent Knight to ruin Christmas for them, and they don't want the Silent Knight coming after them. When them getting into that dimension, and them managing to help the other superheroes fight against the monsters there. And it looking like the Silent Knight killing Jason Blood, but then because of Etrigan, Jason Blood managed to survive because of them both coming from Merlin's magic, and because of Jason Blood being a magical person with Etrigan. But then the Silent Knight would definitely get the flash, and because of him getting him in the sword, him getting more of a part of him, and so him becoming more powerful, and him being able to be at full power as the Silent Knight again. The Shazam kids would especially be good fighting against the monsters because of them being pure-hearted kids, which is a good thing at Christmas, especially for Santa Claus, and because of them being extremely powerful. And with this also being around the time when Mrs. Claus gets into the story, because of her getting worried about her husband, and after him being gone for so long after he already delivered the presents, and her managing to find out what was going on and get in there because of the other magic-themed supervillains that were still enjoying the party in the real world. With her also wanting to help her husband, and her not wanting anything to happen to her husband. And with the whole kingdom before it falling apart, with him wanting to do this, so him restoring his kingdom, and him wanting his kingdom to live on in so way, but with him as king, and with him also doing it because of him hating that his kingdom fell because of Etrigan. The superheroes would know it being bad because him just wanting to be king of his kingdom, it not being because his kingdom fell apart, and Etrigan tried to save their kingdom. And it being good, they don't have to deal with the same terrible things from that time. And it's bad he's just doing this because he's mad he never got to rule his original kingdom. The other superheroes and Etrigan the demon and managed to get into that dimension, and them also helping the heroes that are already there fight against the monsters there, and them trying to find a way out of there. also finding out that the reason why the Silent Knight is so powerful is because of him taking power from the people he's defeated, and because of him getting power from people that are in this dimension, and because of it being in his sword and him getting power from the people in his sword. Because of the Silent Knight going into his sword to defeat them to make sure no one can stop him from taking over the world, them thinking that the Flash is dead and them needing to break it to his kids, but then them finding out the Flash isn't dead and him reuniting with his kids. We would see Mrs. Claus's romance with Santa, and with them having a very kind and happy relationship, and a very loving relationship. It being like a kindly old couple, and with you really getting the feeling it being people who are glad they've been with each other for so long. And the superheroes are convinced that the Christmas monsters fight against the Silent Knight because as of him just using them and to get revenge on Santa, and also how he's just trying to keep them there too. The Silent Knight would still be a big threat to them because of him being back at full power. But because of all of them working together and the magic and science superheroes combining their magic and science, and Santa also using his Christmas magic to help them, and them managing to defeat him in the end, and them getting rid of the Silent Knight actually. With them managing to get out of the sword and them also setting all the monsters free from the sword, and with them actually finding a good place for them to live at. So they're not needing to trap them again, and because of them making peace with the monsters, right, they're not going to do anything terrible to them now, and also because as of Christmas being a time for second chances. Then we'd see the superheroes and the servants enjoying a Christmas party and spending Christmas together, and this time with their friends and family at the original place they're spending their Christmas at earlier in the story. And with both the Justice League and the X-Men making him a member of their superhero teams. With him helping them around Christmas time, especially when it comes to stopping servants and threats to Christmas at that time, and with them also helping him deliver the presents at Christmas time, and also helping him around on the toy factory in the North Pole. And then doing it with Mrs. Claus too, and for his kids, them being a part of the Teen Titans and the Avengers. To show how good the Justice League is, to show how Santa is such a big part in this universe, and it also all being good because both of them having so much to do with good. And for you doing a good version of that time Sam was getting into the Justice League at that time because of everyone getting in the Justice League in general. Then us also seeing how the other superheroes are celebrating Christmas around this time, and us also seeing the superheroes stopping supervillains and saving Christmas around this time, and us also seeing how the other superheroes spend their Christmas at this time. Toyman tried to kidnap Santa at Christmas, but then it turns out to be Mrs. Claus. Then John Stewart would find out that Santa is real. They just put his mom's name on all the gifts Santa gave him as a kid because of him needing a hero a year round, and not just someone him only having a hero for one day of the year. Now, it making sense for the story is because this is during when the superheroes also find the monster of Santa, so then Mrs. Claus working together with John Stewart to find out where Santa was and to help him. Then we'd also see the Secret Six doing crimes and stopping supervillains, and spending Christmas together with Secret Santa. With Bane remembering Santa Prisca and how he took over the prison with the help of the Secret Six, and him becoming king of Santa Prisca. Him also being glad then spending Christmas at Catman's house, and at them being safe in Santa Prisca. And now him overcoming his trauma and facing his fears is by taking over the prison that was his home, and him also taking over his home country to free it from its dictator, and also to use it to help him become king of crime of the world. With him also being glad him having a family with the Secret Six, and with him also being glad him having a team as good as them. Then John Constantine would literally be dealing with his inner demons at Christmas, with him dealing with Demon Constantine. With the magic girl saying her being the spirit of Christmas, getting rid of Demon Constantine, and trying to make John Constantine feel good about himself. John Constantine know him being a terrible person, but the spirit of Christmas would know him being a great person because of the good things he does for people, and at least him trying to do good for people. Her doing good Christmas magic, and her trying to get him to be happy during Christmas time, her getting him to celebrate Christmas. Then the Christmas spirit would try to use the Christmas magic to get rid of John Constantine's suffering at Christmas, but John Constantine wouldn't do it and wouldn't go along with her because of him already being in a relationship with his wife Satana. So that's why him not going on the date with her and him not doing the date with her. But then her turning out to be a demon and trying to kiss him. Then it turned out Satana was just late for their date after the Christmas fight, so then her helping him to defeat the Christmas demon. Then the Joker would be glad to spreading chaos around Gotham City and blowing stuff up and being a supervillain and serving Christmas by doing terrible things at Christmas. And it's like killing people. David and Ray would hate the Joker's killing people and thinks that the world would be a better place without the Joker. And they're not saying why the Joker is so beloved by the supervillains in Gotham City and why Batman even needing the Joker. Then the ghosts of the original Doom Patrol members that died in the explosion, in which so Damian Wayne and the Joker why the Joker is needed. It being because without the Joker, Batman and Wayne felt the need to continue in Gotham City, which only would let more supervillains happen in Gotham City. Superheroes like Superman would never take the crime in Gotham seriously, and acknowledge street level crime can be a big threat too. Harvey Quinn would have just spread insanity at Arkham Asylum by being Corrupt Doctor, which is being even worse as than his supervillain self, because since he's not friends with Poison Ivy ended up destroying the world because of it. Because of her saying no goodness in humanity now, and Jason Todd became a supervillain, and because of him not becoming Red Hood because the Joker never killed him. Then the Joker would help this world some way by doing crimes, and Robin would find out that the Joker existing for a reason, so them going back to their own dimension and Batman stopping the Joker. Then Deadman would find some kids trapped in a tight space after a place fell down, so him possessing one of the workers and the kids, so them finding each other and then getting out of there. Possessing people around Christmas to do good deeds there, then him going to the Oblivion Bar to celebrate Christmas with his magic friends in the Justice League Dark, and with him even seeing other ghosts also around the DC Universe, for it being like the street ghosts of Christmas at the DC Universe. Then Dr. Midnight will remember a time when he stopped a criminal and a supervillain and saved a patient, and managed to win a court case proving that a supervillain did it, and also managing to redeem a criminal and a supervillain then at Christmas time in the modern day. While him enjoying Christmas with the Justice Society at a Christmas party and him spending Christmas with them. One of them even getting himself to redeem a criminal now and a supervillain by helping them with the court case and helping them and with surgery to save their life in the modern day. It's meant a lot to the original people he did it for because those are his family members in the modern day. And with him doing it with the modern Justice Society members, so it coming even more full circle, not in a complete way. I was also seeing how Vixen spends her Christmas with her dating and one's target, and with them being on a date, and with Vixen also doing her fashion show, particularly her Christmas fashion show, how her going shopping, and not just for clothes but also for presents for her loved ones, her also going to a rich person party and a celebrity party, and with her also starting some crimes there. And with her also doing some superhero things, stopping some supervillains and around the world, and with her also doing some nice things, charity works for some kids and for some teenage girls around. Also reminiscing and remembering some of the good memories she had, and with her also using her powers to do a traditional gift for Bronze Tiger for Christmas. And with her also spending Christmas with the Justice League and Bronze Tiger in the end. And with her enjoying her Christmas with him, and assuming and managing to stop Toyman and managing to bring him to jail before him managing to break out of the other jail now at Christmas. With his family and him making sure them staying in jail this time, and assuming also stopping supervillains around Metropolis, but then him finding out him glowing and brighter during it, and him thinking it being because of Parasite trying to steal his powers, but then Parasite overloading on them, and Superman also managing to stop the Parasite in the end, but then it turns out it being because of Mr. Mix's picture leg, because of him pranking him for Christmas, is for him trying to do a joke for his girlfriend at Christmas. Then Superman will get Mr. Mix's picture leg to undo it at Christmas because of it being Christmas. Mr. Mix's parents would try to do some crazy things to him at Christmas, but then him making sure he has a Merry Christmas with his family at the Daily Planet. We would see the Marvel and DC heroes interacting with each other at a Christmas party, and like the magic and science superheroes of both sides of the crossover, and we'd also see Teen Titans spending Christmas with the Justice League, with the heroes and partners and spending time with each other, and with them also doing it with Jingle Bell and Santa's Sons, and with them also doing it with the X-Men and the Avengers. With them also spending the Christmas party with their pets and their friends and family members there, and the superhero pets there. And them managing to redeem some supervillains at New Year's, and with them also kissing each other at a New Year's party at New Year's. And this is the time to know that real life diversity does right because of bigotry being bad in real life, and that there is goodness in the world because of someone who is a good person, it being completely the people's choice. It was from a different part of the world becoming mayor of New York, and him trying to undo the terribleness that's going on in some countries at the time. And him saying that New York is the best part of America, and with him letting people know how he's going to make sure it's staying a good part of that country. And with him letting people know that him doing it there. And I'm saying this now because superheroes actually go well with Christmas and it being perfect timing for it because of superheroes helping people every day. And isn't that what Christmas is about? Being good to each other and helping each other when you need it. When you're a superhero, every day is Christmas. So it's good them representing Christmas in some way. It is bad Disney going full AI because it's just going to do more of all the terrible things of AI, except this time nothing but that. Because of us having strikes so they wouldn't get rid of the real life voice actors and animators is doing it. And it is also bad that that's going to be even worse because they're not being able to do true art because of it just doing things from other people, not doing the actual thing like the actual animators and voice actors. It is good DC is supporting real life comic book creators' rights. It's by not using AI in their company and them actually making it illegal in their company. For them focusing on real people and quality stuff from real people. James Gunn's DCU is good because of it being in a shared superhero universe with more than one form of media. So some things just get finished in other things. And there are other people than him doing other parts of it. The Warner Brothers being sold to a different company thing, and it's not James Gunn's fault because he's only in charge of DC. It's David Zato's fault because he's the one that's in charge of Warner Brothers. You should go to a businessman that isn't evil or corrupt, and you should also go to a new animation company that's still big and would actually do a good job of it, so us not needing to deal with David Zato anymore and the other terrible things at Warner Brothers. So us getting good things from Cartoon Network and us making sure that stuff like Cartoon Network isn't falling apart with Warner Brothers. And it being bad, Marvel is doing AI because of them not supporting the creators' rights, and they're not focusing on real people doing actually good things with their stories. So if they're going to do AI, they should have it to only help the creators there. They shouldn't use it to replace the creators there. It's not them doing diversity at all in stories is why I was hating it. It's because they're not doing a good job of it and them just being a bigot to the other side. If you do diversity in this story, you should just make it being coincidence them being that, and it not being the whole point of the identity and the only thing to the identity. That's actually offensive to both sides. And with you actually showing why bigotry is stupid and there really is no reason for it, because as if you actually showing the horrors of bigotry, and you actually is showing it to us, you're not just saying it to us. Like, it is bad your character saying them being better than the other guy and them being overconfident jerk face, and it's not defending them, and because that's still bad, their only defense being them being diverse. I mean, and if they can't do it without making fun of someone, then they really are worse than that someone because of them not being able to do it without making fun of them. So there's nothing good about them themselves, or they're not all that great in the first place. So us already hating them because of them being a jerk face is not because of them being diverse, so us wanting bad things happen to them because of them being a jerk face, and it being worse than being a main character because that means us constantly hating them because of them constantly seeing them being a jerk face. And you definitely shouldn't be a jerk face to characters you already like so, if they were nice then we would already like them. These big evil companies really shouldn't get mad at their audience just for acknowledging how bad their terrible forms of media are. And how lousy they are. Your audience is why are you being so big in the first place, so you should appreciate them and so you staying big. It's not that it's not for those specific people, it not being for anyone, and in it being especially bad and if anyone relating to it because of it being so offensive, and so it's bad at you thinking it being for anyone because of it being so offensive. And that's easy for you to say. You don't have to see this garbage. Don't blame us just for noticing how bad your terrible, lousy, and horrible garbage is. And saying it this time in the video and around Christmas time, because it being perfect around Christmas time, and because of Christmas time being a time of goodness, and so me saying good things here, and just better awareness of it, and so you knowing about it, and so me trying to do something good at Christmas.